playoffs.
There we go. It's a best-of-3 series for the Eastern Conference Final and a chance to play for the Stanley Cup. The first of possibly 2 here in New York. Shorthanded, scores! Headed to Forsling, backhand scores! The Panthers have tied it at 1.
You've been in this game before? We know this game. Let's go in here. Let's get working.
Shot scores! Anton Lundell. Florida takes the lead.
Yeah, baby, that's white. That's white.
Advantage Florida, heading home with a 3-2 series lead.
Hello, Canada and hockey fans of the United States and Newfoundland.
This is Hockey Night in Canada on Sportsnet.
You want action? We've got action for you here tonight.
He's got a stick. He's in. Scores!
Absolutely amazing. Alt rockers, the Vines out of Sydney, Australia. Get Free, the name of the song, launches us into week number 7 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. 43rd night. 3rd month now involved. It's June the 1st. It's Game 6 at sunrise on Hockey Night in Canada. The Stanley Cup playoffs on Sportsnet, presented by Rogers. Panthers claw their way to 2 victories, 3-2 in Games 4 and 5, and they have a chance to punch their ticket to the Stanley Cup final. Jennifer Botterill, Kevin Bieksa, Kelly Rudy, and let's get right to Sean McKenzie and Brandon Montour. Sean.
Brendan, obviously a huge opportunity for your team here tonight. Coming into a game like this, is there a different feel?
No, I mean, I think just the excitement, especially being on home ice. I think we know what kind of energy this building brings, especially the last couple of years, and we're excited. You know, obviously we're going to get their best. You know, any team, you know, on the brink of, you know, being out, you're going to get their best. So we're expecting that, and like I said, guys are fired up, and you're obviously going to expect our best as well.
You guys had the experience of going to a cup final last year and playing for that ultimate prize. Being there, knowing what that it feels like, how much is that a feeling that drives this group?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously we didn't like the result last year, but that just gives us that itch to get back. You know, we're that close, but again, this is a tough team, tough task, and it's gonna be a close game. Obviously, every game's been close, and you know, like I said, the guys are fired up, ready to go.
Paul Maurice had an interesting quote yesterday saying that he's been able to enjoy this because he can kind of sit back and realize how unimportant he is. Obviously, he's a huge part of this group, but I think he was trying to say that the group almost runs itself now. Yeah. What does that say about his trust in you guys and the maturity of the group?
Exactly, and I think that's just with our experience from what we've had since he's been here and what he's built and what we've built as a group. Obviously, leadership that we have, the group, the locker room we have, and that's what makes our team stronger. Is just that, you know, we expect the best out of each other. You know, obviously Mo does his thing and helps us with what we need, but in games that are tight, I think the locker room, the bench gets, you know, loose and expects, you know, the best from everyone, and everyone expects that, so it's good to have that.
Brandon, thanks for the time.
Yep, thank you.
And again, he's coached for a million years, but a reminder, Maurice was a defenseman, smartest man in the game, right?
Yeah, I didn't know he, well, yeah, but I didn't know we could discuss that. I didn't think he was serious.
Answer.
When he told me to wear the same suit tonight, I didn't think he was serious, but it looks like he was.
That's right. Another D-man that you've enjoyed.
Yes, and you look at the lineup for the Panthers tonight, no surprise, it's the same lineup they've gone with for the past 2 games and getting the wins, but you think about the defense and Forsling and how strong he's been for them. You look at the most ice time of players that have played against Forsling 5-on-5 and look at the talent and the limited number of points that they have gotten throughout this postseason when they've played against Forsling. And you look at some of the details of his game in the first round, playing the Lightning, and he's a player just knowing his spacing on how much gap to leave for players to make sure that he's got the skating stride, but just the little stick checks. And he's also a player, I mean, he's not physically the tallest or the strongest, but he's a player that plays very big and knows how to battle in various situations. And there's just an intelligence to the way he plays. All of these, this is the second round now, playing against Boston, the same case. You're playing against Pasternak. And again, limited offense for him. And I mean, you think about this conversation, there might not be a defenseman that's played better two-way hockey in this postseason than Forsling. And all of the examples, and now here in this conference final, again, being a big part of limiting some of the offense that the Rangers like to create. This is a team that loves to have the puck, and Forsling is so good with his spacing, his intelligence, and his battle play. Just a really complete player for the Panthers.
Rangers lines are going to have a couple tweaks tonight and not getting the result last game. So this is what you're going to see. Hedl moving down to the third line center. Maybe not down, probably arguably a more important job. Wenberg up with those top two, try to get them going. But I think Goodrow's been one of their most effective players. Not just, you know, there's the great goal in overtime. He's just been all over the place, physical, holding on to pucks down low. Playing with Hedl's going to help, and that D pairing right there, the Schneider-Miller, they're going to have to be good. They made that change a couple games ago, Trouba and Gustafsson. We'll see if they're better tonight.
Well, I'm going to focus on Panarin. Kev, do you want to try that funky intro you had last game?
The bread man on Broadway.
I just take it.
No, you got it.
Everybody, we all noticed how great Panarin was last game. Kev, you focus on him in the first intermission about getting pucks to the net. Very noticeable. He had 4 shots on goal, 11 shot attempts, which is what he has to do, what everybody knows, and the Rangers need more from with Panarin. He needs to be a little bit more competitive and make sure that he's in the fight every single game. It's going to be a tough building tonight for him.
I really think that the Florida Panthers believe they're a better hockey team than the New York Rangers. The one thing that I think is in the back of their mind is Shesterkin could steal a game. I think they're a little bit fearful of Shesterkin and his ability, and he's going to have to do that tonight to get them back to Broadway. And so what are they doing? They're trying to make life difficult. They're trying to bump him accidentally on purpose. They're trying to disrupt him. He does have a temper at times. Mikola's hit here. He got away with this because Wenberg came in and threw a little punch, a little Gen Z brawl, and then they ended up evening it up. So now, like, all these little taps, all these flybys, this is on purpose. This is Paul Maurice telling his forwards, or maybe that leadership group that Montour talked about. They know what to do. They know this is the best player on the New York Rangers. We have to be in his grill. We have to disrupt him. We have to just slightly get him off his game, because if he's comfortable, he's seeing the puck, he could steal one.
He's over .930 save percentage. Bobrovsky in the third periods is .949. The goaltending is off the charts in this series. Prior to last night's Edmonton victory, 5 nights previous, 5 games, all featured come-from-behind victories. This conference finals is so tight. Game 6 is coming up from Sunrise. We'll get to John Bartlett, Gary Galley, and more of Sean McKenzie on Hockey Night next. Maybe the last Saturday in Studio 32 of this season. I mean, you never know, but that's the plan. Jennifer, your thought on this big game?
Well, right, and the Rangers, certainly their postseason is on the line tonight, so a lot at stake, and for them to find some offense tonight in Game 6, I mean, at this point of the series, only 1 for 14 on the power play. They also need to get to the middle of the ice, get some more high-danger chances.
And for Florida, when Rick Bowness was here, he said one way you can generate offense is have your defense join or lead the rush, and that's what Florida's done a real good job of, and Rangers are going to have to be aware of it. Kev?
Kel, you're a big outdoorsman, and you go on all these hikes in the Rockies with your brother, and he taught you really early, never back an animal in the corner.
Oh, right.
And right now, the Panther is backing in the wounded fox into a corner. He can't necessarily fight his way out because he's got a bum shoulder, so he's going to have to rely on his cutting wit. If he can do so tonight, then he might live to see another day.
And we carried bear spray.
Oh my God, that's good. So inside the rat trap we go. I see that Sam Bennett's made it from the restaurant. He had his Madries, rejoined his cadre. Expect his behavior to be Madry. Sean shortly, and then it'll be up to John and Gary. Enjoy.
And now, presented by Tropical Financial, the starting lineup for head coach Paul Maurice and your Florida Panthers. On defense, number 62, Brandon.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sunrise, Florida for Game 6, where tonight the Panthers look to punch their ticket to the Stanley Cup Final. The Rangers looking to stave off elimination. New York doesn't need any reminders of the situation they are in. This is the back page of the New York Post. SOS, save our season. But maybe the most interesting part, that little tagline, a message from Mark Messier to the Blue Shirts: believe. Rangers fans want to believe that this year can be just like 1994 when Messier made that incredible Game 6 guarantee. This fan trying to remind the Rangers players during warm-up with the paper back from 94. The Panthers have a little nostalgia on their side, though. It was on this day 28 years ago, June 1st, 1996, that the Panthers punched their ticket to the Stanley Cup Final for the very first time. The Panthers are going to have to get through Igor Shesterkin to do it, though, and he is dialed in. This was the scene before the game, before the warm-up. He was in this exact pose for 3 minutes and 22 seconds. Gustafsson came out and thought, nope, not going to disturb that guy. He is the ticket to Game 6. Let's find out what happens tonight. We're in Sunrise for what should be a thriller. Puck drop coming up, but first, the national anthem. Enjoy.
Please turn your attention to the ice and welcome tonight's hero among us. 99-year-old World War II veteran, Coxswain James Weir, United States Navy. Thank you for your service and dedication to our country. Please rise and remove your caps as the United States Coast Guard Honor Guard presents our nation's colors. Here to perform the Star-Spangled Banner, please welcome John Acosta.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
A Saturday night in Sunrise, and we've hit a dramatic tipping point in this Eastern Conference Final. The Florida Panthers look to become the first team since the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2009 to return to a Stanley Cup Final after losing the year before. But it will be no easy task as the President's Trophy winning New York Rangers stand in their way and look to extend their run on Broadway for a Game 7. In many ways, the stars of the show each night have been the dueling goaltenders. Igor Shesterkin has allowed 3 goals or less in 36 of his last 38 playoff games and has a .928 save percentage in this series. Sergei Bobrovsky has the most wins over the past 3 postseasons with 27, and he has a .914 save percentage in the series. They've been clutch, but speaking of clutch, Chris Kreider has 16 goals in games when facing elimination, which is tied for the most in NHL history with Mark Messier. And Carter Verhaeghe is a franchise leader for points in potential clinching games. He is 1 point shy of tying Dave Lowry for most points in a conference final series in Florida history. Prince of Wales trophy in the house.